Hello. Hey, how's it going? SolarLoon here. Hi. Yeah, I'm SolarLoon. I'm an independent game developer and the developer of MasterPlan. Sorry for being late. My time is a little compressed today. It's gonna be a little busy, but hi. So yeah, welcome to chat. I am the developer of MasterPlan. It's a program specifically designed for planning out your life, but also primarily for like video games or bigger kind of projects like games or stories, media, that kind of stuff. And so that's what we're going to be working on today. MasterPlan. Yes. Hello. Hello to everybody in chat. Sorry for being late once again. Lucretia says this song bops so hard. Thank you very much. Nehemiah Dakers says, do you have an album of just your music? It is available on my SoundCloud and on Spotify. I not this song, but different songs of mine. SoundCloud has more of my unprofessional things, just kind of like, little beats and stuff. Some of it is also on YouTube, but Spotify and Google Play Music, or well, Google Play Music is now YouTube Music, but Spotify and Apple Music usually is for kind of like just the gear and OST and one of my songs. So it's kind of all over the place. Sorry. Irving Rivas says that exactly. Let's see. Nehemiah Digger says, do you see much revenue from that? No. No, I don't believe so. I haven't even checked, like CD Baby or whatever, whichever. I don't remember. It's DistroKid. I mean, haven't even checked DistroKid for revenue. Redent says, play the intro music in the background. Sure. You asked for it, so I will abide. Hold on. There we go. Shouldn't be too loud. Let's see. Don Duval says that reminds me I need to email you about some commission work for my project. Yeah, please feel free. If anyone has any work that they want me to work on, like making music or art for their games, please feel free to hit me up, solarloon@gmail.com, or on my Discord or Twitter. I'm available, through different media, through different communication methods. So if you hit me up, I'll probably respond. Okay, so TJK says, was that MasterPlan embedded in Sprite? No, this is a mockup. Redent says, is this Mac OS or Linux? It's Linux. If it's Linux, which distro? It's Pop OS. Yeah, Pop OS. Nice and clean. Pretty good. But yeah, this is a mock-up. What I was thinking about was basically, so if you've been following the stream, this is something I've been thinking about and kind of working on over the, I don't think I did it on the last stream, but basically, or I don't remember, but basically I'm moving over to SDL2 for MasterPlan so that I can do better text handling, so I can do different things like that. So this is just what I have so far, is just a really basic start. I'm starting completely from scratch. I could just try to move the elements of the original MasterPlan over to SDL2, but there's a lot to MasterPlan, especially that's like really integrated with Raylib, rendering and all that stuff. So it's going to be a little bit of a pain to like move everything over from Raylib to SDL2. So I figure if I'm going to do it over, I might as well like do it over, right? I might as well basically make the entire game, the entire app over. So we're going to be mocking some stuff up and kind of trying to recreate it in live. We're going to try to make this a reality, ideally in the next 2 hours, which is insane. Less than 2 hours. Redent says, why go? I like it. It's a simple, clean, easy language. I like it. Something I like about, or that people have been kind of requesting over the past couple of, let me make this little right. That's clean. That's clean. It's clean. Okay. Something that people have been requesting was like the ability to make tasks different sizes, right? So you can like resize tasks. That would be implementable on a base level. Like I could do that, since I'm restarting the entire app, basically, I can re-implement how tasks are handled and hopefully make it so that you can resize them, and that also would make it so that different tasks can be different sizes, and you know, everything should work seamlessly, ideally. Don Duval says, any reason in particular for the switch from Solus to Pop? I don't remember. There was a reason behind it. I don't remember why. Also, this is, I think, my camera is in a bad location. Oops. There's nothing really down there. That's fine, I guess. You can't read the. Yeah, well, I'll put myself at the bottom right. That's better. Yeah, I don't remember why I switched from Solus to Pop. It was for something. It might have been for an instrument. There was reasons behind it, but I don't quite remember why. It might have been to do with the video handling. I don't remember. But either one's good. I recommend Solus. It's a great distribution. Pop OS is also really clean, really straightforward. You get kind of the best of both worlds with Pop. Like it's clean, but it's also based on Ubuntu, so you get some nice, you know, just an easy installation of, like, you know, I can't think of what I'm even trying to. I can't think of the word for it, but not the software center, but like the. Well, you can handle devs. You can install devs. You can, you know, do all the stuff that Ubuntu does. You can install GNOME themes and stuff. You can do the same thing on Solus as well, because it is also GNOME based. Anyway, I like it. I would recommend Pop, just like I would recommend Solus. They're both good options. But yeah, we'll try to reproduce something like this, and I think this is cool. I like the ability to have tasks be multiple, you know, spread across multiple lines like this. I also wanted a rounded design, so I'm thinking less of like square tasks and more like cards that you can kind of like reshape at will. I feel like that would be a cool kind of design, not too pixely, but also kind of simple. I like this kind of. It's 3, okay. I like this kind of design. So the checkbox task would be something like this. It would be something like this. See how this would even kind of look. This is clean in a very different way from MasterPlan currently, and I like it. I like how clean this is. Okay, so you can resize stuff. Yeah, we got the checkbox. Okay. So yeah, you can resize it. Let's see. Let's see if there's an easy way to do this. I don't think there is. I'll just do it manually then. So something like this would be. Yeah, so you got shadows, okay. Let me turn this on. Okay, preview so we can kind of get a nice bird's eye view of it. Okay. Will MasterPlan have ARM3264 support? It would be nice to use this on Samsung DeX or an Android PC. Nah. Well, I can do Android support, but well, if I'm gonna remake it from scratch, I guess I could do Android support. Because GoSDL supports Android, but it does not support iOS. So I wouldn't be able to make an iOS port directly from this code base. But I could make it with at least the ability to port to Android easily. Okay. Now, what I'm thinking here is basically, in addition to this, I like the idea of having panels that you can open like this, right? Something like this. We'll just go with something simple like that. Give me like some more rounded corners. Rounded corners are cool. And that's something I like about MasterPlan, the design of MasterPlan, is that it's like I'm trying to make it kind of stylish, even though you're not really supposed to spend that much time in it. I like the idea that it's stylish and it's kind of simple and looks cool, even though you're supposed to be kind of like not really doing that much with it. All right, so what I wanted to do is basically add a small little window like this that you can easily use to configure the settings of a task. So for example, you can have like deadlines in here, right? Say deadline here. Let's just copy this little checkbox button. Also, it's weird. This is kind of running slowly. It feels like Sprite is running slowly. So something like this, a deadline. That's good. So we have a deadline. You have. Let me pull up MasterPlan. What other options are there? Oh. Oh. Okay, I think I know why it crashed actually, because I probably wrote some settings out that didn't load correctly. Yeah, okay. That's fine. What we will do then, let's go ahead and just head into here. We will just settings. I'm guessing this is the issue. Let's go ahead and try relaunching it. Okay, cool. All right, so for let me move this over here. For tasks you have completed, which honestly shouldn't be here because you can just click on it, right? So there's no need to have this here. Completion date, I don't know if anyone ever used that. Same thing for created on, that could be destroyed. The description could be like you type directly on the task. So the only thing that really needs to be put there is deadlines. For checkbox and progression, notes don't have deadlines, so this could have, this could have a color drop down. I guess that could be the case for all tasks, to be honest. You could have like a color picker. So something like this. This is just an icon. You're not supposed to actually click in these in these little squares. And once we have this looking pretty good, we can kind of port this stuff over to the actual like creation of the app. So we don't have to lose, like we're actually making the app right now by designing it like this. Give me this electric. Okay. Alright. Like this. Give me more room. Oops. You know, give me more vertical room like this, yeah. Oops. There we go. Okay, so we got deadlines. This is way too big of an icon. It could just be like something smaller. Let's just go with the first 4 colors. Okay, you got this, you got colors. Let me wipe that. Okay. You got deadline, you got colors, you got, what else? That's kind of it. Timers are going to be a little different. Lines are going to be a little different, I think. I probably will have them connected like something like this. Something like that. Like going basically a little like curve going from one point to another. This is a little jank. There we go. Something like that. So tasks can be linked. Okay. Alright, alright. Fashion Killer says, hello. Hope everyone's doing fine. Hello, welcome. Thank you very much for stopping by the stream. Well appreciated. What we're doing here is we're mocking up MasterPlan 2.0 in a certain sense, even though this is still v0.8 that we're going to be making, or that I'm working on. Yeah, like that's what we're working on here. And it's looking clean. It's looking clean. It's looking super clean. So this would probably be like the panel color, which we could put up here actually. Something like this. And give me like the date and time. So this is what? Tuesday? Yeah. Always forget to get the right color. Alright. Give me a menu here. Give me a something like this. Alright, that's pretty good. This could probably be more sharp. Yeah. Okay. This needs to be over a little bit more. But the general idea, the general feel that we're going for, I think is definitely definitely pretty good. You got the menu, you got the clock. It's very clean. It's very clean. Maximum space. It's even more. It gives even more of a feeling of space than I think vanilla MasterPlan, because you have this down here, boards up here. There's not going to be boards anymore. Instead, there's going to be folders. That feels like a good compromise, because that way you can basically do what you could do with boards, but you can actually move them around. And maybe double clicking on them will either expand them, or we'll just straight up open them where you won't be able to see anything else except for the board. I'm sorry, except for the folder. So that will eliminate this up here, and then this can be compressed essentially to just be like a corner. Yeah. This could probably just be like something like that. And the extra rounded corners makes the non-rounded corner look more pointy. Something like that. There we go. That's clean. This is the most unclean part, and that's still fine. We'll have to figure out how lines will work. Maybe they'll just be straight. I don't know. Let's try that. Let's try just straight lines. Something like this. Okay. I like the linking without any kind of an object on the field. I like that. I think that's a very clean look. This is looking very cool. I feel like this is doable too. Like it's a step back, but the simplicity is just like, it's beautiful. Okay, so now a note task is basically the same thing as this. Alright, there we go. These are important. Okay, your thoughts. Trying to see how this would work. So this would need to be at least like that far down. Okay. Something like that. Okay, so this is not the same distance. Oops. Okay, so, and then notes could be like, I don't know, some color like that. There we go. Okay, so the general feeling is good. Notes are different colors, but they can be modified to be different colors. Checkbox, okay. Progression tasks. Oh, yo, okay, this, all right, hold up. This is making, I'm about to blow my own mind here. So well, okay, wait, hold on. I have to answer chat. I'm not talking to chat. Lucretius says, are you designing a new UI? Yeah, I'm basically redesigning the app entirely, because I need to move over to SDL2, and I figure if I'm going to do that, I might as well make it worthwhile and actually redesign the UI to make it, like, you know, better. This is largely the same in terms of, you know, it's a white void, you place stuff. But in comparison with vanilla Minecraft, vanilla MasterPlan, it's a little, I don't know, like the old one looks kind of, I don't know. In comparison, I like the simple, like, no outline, rounded rectangle look. I like the idea of putting the context menu in a tiny little, like, window, a little pop-up that could also be used for, like, maybe creating a new task or copy paste. That could all be in this little panel rather than having buttons like this. Like, these are buttons, but they don't have edges. You know. It feels like this is a cleaner upgrade. Like, this is the way that it should be, I think. Progression tasks are going to be like this. Let's do this. And what I'm thinking is progression tasks could be, actually, let me give myself more room to work with here. Let's see, progression task could basically be maybe something like this. I'm not sure where the text would be, maybe here. And then there's like numbers or something like this, like buttons you can click on the left and right side. So there's buttons you can click on the left and right side to like increment or decrement. Aaron Moore says, "Hey Solar, guess who's back? Yo, what's up? How's it going?" Actually, I guess this would be plus and minus. There we go. So plus over there, minus over here. Like if we could edit it right here on it, that would be great. So maybe this would be the title of the task. Yeah, okay, so progression task. Important. There we go. Yeah. So something like this. And then the actual amount is like 10 out of 10, something like that, down here. Like ideally we want to be able to set, maybe we would set the maximum in a context menu here. That way we can just have the plus and minus for a really simple and clean effect. So this little menu serves the purpose of this panel. Except it's moving out the stuff that doesn't need to be there. So like the description is going to be right there on the task, ideally. Let's see, notes are important if they keep your thoughts together. So you can edit it right here. The task title goes at the top. You have the task amount listed here. It might be cool if we could do something like this. Let's see how this would look. Oh, that is clean. Readability on fleek. All right. Readability is extremely important, and it's very much so there. This is very readable. That's good. What is this? Fine. All right. So something like that, I think, would be pretty cool. So 10 out of 10, you press the buttons, it increments. I don't know if we would do something like this, maybe. That makes sense. Checkbox task. Or should we have like a big old checkbox right here in the center? Let's see. Rasad Z says, "What is your thought process for when it comes to creating a productivity app like this? Recently, I've been thinking about creating a video editor using Godot or native C# for Android." Well, I mean, like for the most part, I don't really think too hard about like how things should look or feel. But since I'm recreating MasterPlan from scratch, it makes sense to put more thought into it to like actually work better. So like, for the most part, I just went for things that kind of were either efficient or made sense. So like right-clicking to make a menu doesn't really make sense, but it's more efficient than having to go to the top left. But you know, it's a little non-standard, so I feel like just having a menu at the top left is kind of it solves that problem. Bundi says hello, how's it going? Maybe even better if panels like this were kind of closable. So like if you press Control F, you would open basically a panel that you could use to search. So I'm not sure if these two things are the same. This panel, this little context menu, and this. Same? I'm not sure if they're the same there because I don't know, it feels like they're different, but maybe they're not. Maybe those are the same. And if so, then we could probably do something like, I want this copy paste. This is so slow. A sprite is never this slow. Is it just this one sprite? What's going on? No, it's laggy, dude. I don't know what's going on. let's see. Aaron Morris says, I was wondering if you were considering the milestone system I briefly outlined on Twitter. I believe I added that to my to-do list, but I haven't like looked into implementing it yet. This, like, moving MasterPlan over to SDL is like it's a massive undertaking. Well, just in terms of like, it requires basically rewriting the entire app. So I've been doing that excuse me. I've been doing that basically instead of working on like new features or anything like that. I'm tired of people being I'm tired of disappointing people when it comes to the input level of MasterPlan, because it's like, oh, you use an IME, it might work, it might not. I want to just kind of solve that, and I feel like I can with SDL2, and so we're recreating the entire thing basically. Lucretia says file IO will stay the same though. Yeah, I mean, but that's a pretty small part of MasterPlan, is just like loading and saving project files and reading themes. That's not that hard or that much to it. So like I don't really mind either rewriting that or copying that code. Well, that might also change. Actually, I'm not sure. That might change. The file IO might change, because where settings are, how many settings there are, which settings there are, all of that might change. It might be that there's no more outlines, essentially, because this style is very clean. Outlines just kind of look a little unnecessary. They just kind of clutter things up. Where it's in here, tasks rather, outlines. Yeah, they just kind of clutter things up a little bit. Without outlines, it's a little cleaner. Yeah, I feel like this is clean. It's immediately like visually recognizable, and you can work with it a little bit better. I'm not sure about the checkbox task. That's a little weird. I feel like putting it in the center makes sense, because it's like, it's a big thing you want to click on when you completed a task. But on the flip side, it's a little off center. Like it just feels like it should be maybe here, but it's a smaller target to hit, so I don't know. I like the buttons on the sides of the progression task. That makes sense. Like you press minus or plus to trigger them. That makes sense. Lucretius, IME stands for Input Method Editor. So basically, if you're typing in a language like Chinese or Japanese, you use a little input method editor to change the characters into the characters that you're actually looking for, because there's only so many keys on a keyboard, and you're not going to actually, be able to type out Japanese or Chinese on even a Japanese or Chinese keyboard. Like, there's not enough keys for all of the characters. So an input method editor allows you to compose larger or different words or phrases out of radicals. I'll see if I can kind of give this example here. So let me also zoom this in. All right. Oh, whoops. Also, this is... Yeah, hold on. Never mind. I just realized I am recording this at like 1440p. So, but it's being scaled down. Anyway. All right, so an IME is basically what allows you to do... Did it? Oh no, it's direct input. Can I change this to hiragana, please? Like Ohio. So the IME is this little thing that pops up. And so if you type in, for example, like... Wait, that's weird. Hold on. That's weird. I thought maybe I'm misspelling it. All right, well there's an example. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm misspelling it. But if you type in like Nippon, which is Nihon, or I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. If you type in Nihon, I don't know why it's giving me Nihongo. This is weird. But basically, when you have Japanese, the characters on your keyboard correspond to either English letters or Japanese letters, Japanese hiragana or katakana. So this is A in Japanese. And if you type in the word for Japan, Nihon, that's Ni, Ho, and N, you can combine that into basically these first two characters, Nihon. That's Japan and Japanese. Lucretius, am I learning Japanese? I learned it. I didn't learn it like well, but I took a couple classes in college. So basically, an IME is what allows you to like compose stuff. It allows you to turn a keyboard that only has 70 keys into what you need to type in 1,000 different characters, 5,000 different characters to speak Japanese or write Japanese or Chinese effectively. That was a really unnecessarily long explanation, but basically SDL2 has better IME support. You can Lucretius says it's similar to Korean. They have like 51 letters to make up their characters. Each character is like 1 to 3 primitive symbols. It might be similar to that, yeah. With Japanese or Chinese, it's a little bit more complicated, or at least Japanese specifically, because they have kanji in addition to hiragana and katakana, which is basically, they're made up of radicals, like smaller pieces, but essentially they stand in for certain sounds and they can combine to make phrases or larger concepts. So anyway, IMEs are necessary for people who use languages that aren't Latin based usually. So like Japanese, Chinese, I'm not sure about Thai, but like Korean might also require an IME. I'm not positive on Korean. Korean might have an actual alphabet. Can I watch anime on sub? No. I'm not nearly that good enough. But I just have some basic knowledge of Japanese. So just rudimentary stuff. So in any case, the reason that's a big reason why I'm going through this effort is to try to basically internationalize the app more, or even before I think about like what's the word? Translation of the words, or like translation of the words, or like translation of the phrases or anything like that. What's presented in MasterPlan when you press on like new task or like deadlines. Even setting that stuff aside, I want you to be able to enter text in your language. You should be able to do that, and this is kind of the first step. So anyway, this is cool. It's working. This is I think a cool design. I think this is a good design. We're gonna save this. We're gonna save this as a MasterPlan mockup. 0.8 mockup. I'll put it in my MasterPlan folder. Oh, I would like to. 0.8. There. All right. So anyway, this is good. This is good. What else? So the progression task being, halved like this makes sense. It's just gives you a big target to hit when you're clicking on either side. What else? What other task types are there? I just want to kind of go through a couple of them, but I don't want to go through all of them. Image is pretty straightforward and self-explanatory. It should basically just be the image, without an icon. I'm sorry, without any outlines. Sound, timer. Timer is going to be interesting. Timers might. Oh, lordy, this is so laggy. I'm not sure. Hold on, let me try restarting this because I'm not sure why it's just absolutely horrible FPS here. Let me reopen. Wait, not MasterPlan. Let me reopen Sprite. Still bad. I'm not sure what's going on. Yeah, it's weird. It's not even that big of an image. It's just 800 by 450. It's not massive. All right, well, whatever. I'll figure it out later. Maybe it's something. Maybe it's my. Hold on. Maybe it's my browser. That did not make a difference. Okay, so never mind. Also, am I in the? No, I'm good. Okay, I'll keep that over here. All right, so let's keep kind of cracking away at this. Maxter the Turtle says the new design looks really does look slick, or does look really slick. Thank you. Yeah, I do like this eye-popping like neutral background with some a basic grid pattern, and then you got like some really colorful colors here to kind of bring it out. It feels like that's kind of what was missing out of the original MasterPlan design. It was kind of like, even within a theme, the colors were pretty. Even within a theme, the colors were kind of flat. And I think that it's good to like have neutral colors, but it's just nothing really stands out that well. Like that's, it's all right. It's all right. It's alright. I mean, it's not gonna kill. Like it's not gonna kill anybody with how bad it is, but it's not great. I think it's good for what it is, but I feel like I can do way better. Black tie definitely it does be hitting a little different, but I think that I can do better. So we'll see if we can kind of keep this overall really bold style intact. I think we can do it. What we will do is we want probably to work with a larger task size rather than 16 by 16. Maybe 32 by 32 is the minimum. Because we want to accommodate for people who want to use higher resolution fonts, right? Because like right now, currently MasterPlan hits at basically each task is 16 by 16, right? Or 16 by 32, or some multiple of 16, where it's like this is kind of the smallest task you can get, and that's okay. But I mean, like, if you want to, have a really high resolution font, this doesn't work that well, right? Like, what if you want to have, a font that requires a 32 point... Well, if you have a 32 point font that you want to use. I'm not sure if this will even not crash. Let's see if it will, if it'll hold out. But let's say we wanted to use, like, a clean... Give me a clean, Ale regular? Does that load? It does not. So this is also something that hopefully will improve with SDL2. Hopefully font loading will be better. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that over on my other screen and let's see if it ever loads. But yeah, I think what we probably want to do is maybe have 32 by 32 for a task size, and we can kind of work from there. It might be good if we start off with a clean font to test with. I probably want to stick with Excel for my my font. I do like the way it looks. I do think it's clean, but I do want to see if if you were working with a high resolution font, how would that go? So that's probably what's going to determine the minimum size for tasks. And yeah, it doesn't seem like this is... Yeah, I don't think MasterPlan's coming back. I don't think the original MasterPlan's coming back there. Okay, so we have our task here. We're not even going to... We're gonna... Let's delete this real quick. We're going to completely start over with our themes. Except for, well, we're going to be working with sunlight, but yeah, we're going to start over with our themes, I guess. Because we want to pretty strongly imitate this. I like this design. I think this design is pretty solid. Well, let's keep working on it for a little bit. I don't want to abandon it prematurely, or start rather working on this prematurely. Let me also get rid of MasterPlan because it wouldn't load the font. All right. So, this is good. Oh, timers. That's what I was talking about, timers. Okay. Actually, let me take a look at MasterPlan one more time, the current version. I want to see what can you do with timers. So we have countdown, we have a daily timer. So you can be like, oh yeah, I want it to trigger every Monday, every Wednesday, okay. Tuesday, 8 hours. Oh, 8 hours until 12 a.m. on Wednesday, yeah, okay. Also, this is incorrect. This is broken. Yeah, this isn't working correctly. Whoops. Alright, well, in any case, we'll fix that. Let's see. Dates, okay. Stopwatch. Alright, so you have stopwatch, you have date, you have countdown, you have time. Daily. So, let's see. What's the point of a timer? I would say I would say countdown and stopwatch are like your number one, like, why you would start a timer, right? So let's draw that in here so we can kind of get an idea for how this works. So you have stopwatch, which might be something like this. Might have a little icon like this. And so you would have like, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, something like this. So this should be set. So it's the title, and then this area is the usable area. So this would be set down like that. Okay. That makes sense. So when you stretch the task, I'll have to see how this will work exactly, because I'm wondering how the this is good to think about, because like I have to kind of come up with a design and a style before I like start implementing. So like in this example, we have stopwatch, right? This little stopwatch icon is here, but the checkbox icon is at the left of the title for the checkbox. So should this be centered? That doesn't really look right. So the icon should be at the top left of the box, but there is no icon for progression. But I guess you could say the minus and plus are the kind of icon, right? Like that identifies the task. Unless we put another icon here. Let's see, stopwatch. So the icon I feel like should be up here, maybe. And then the actual value is down here. So then maybe it would be here and there would be like a play. All right, that is better. I feel like that's a little bit of a better design. Maxter says you might not need a stopwatch text. It might be less obvious what it is though. Yeah, maybe just if there's no text. Then you just have the stopwatch. So you can't name a stopwatch. You can just start it or stop it. Maybe I could put this here. Looks like a little bomb. This is interesting. I never really did any UI design for MasterPlan, and I feel like this is already paying off. Like it already feels better. Maybe. I kind of like. I do like how that looks, but I feel like, do you need a? Well, if it's a stopwatch, you can't set any values on it. TJK says, I could see a use case for multiple stopwatches, so I wouldn't get rid of that functionality. Yeah, that's true. Even though you can't set any values on it, you might have multiple. Bundi, it looks like a little bomb for those really, really important tasks. Blobby says the other two timers are more so you can set a task as repeatable. Yeah, that's what the other two modes do. I'm not gonna implement those just yet. I feel like countdown and stopwatch are like the, you know, the can't think of the word. The not idiosyncratic, but the like your vanilla timer. Like, why would you create a timer? Probably to measure something that you're doing, or to count down time until you maybe need to start or stop doing something else. And so those two are kind of what I'm designing right now. It's trying to figure out like that. For those where it's like, oh yeah, you know, you're counting down time until like the next Friday or a certain date, that might have like a calendar involved or like a clock, like a visible like analog clock or something. Oh, actually, that was what I was thinking. For a countdown clock, it might be good. We'll actually keep that play. Might be good if there was some sort of like like gauge. Like this. Probably want a little bit more room. Not sure how I'm going to actually implement this like live, but and it looks bad, but that's, bear with me. Bear with me on this. But something like this might be cool for like a countdown. In addition to the let's do this. In addition to the also this would be like title. Okay, so something like this might be good. In addition to the clock. Up a little bit. Something like that I feel like would be cool. Yeah, measuring multiple times, definitely keep the tile text. I think so. I think that's probably for the best. Clocks could be a little bit of a different color, maybe maybe something like this. Okay. It's definitely an improvement. I feel like it's definitely getting there. center stuff. Okay, so this is the general vibe. I think this is probably good enough to maybe start working on it. We've already spent like an hour, so there's no way we're gonna get anywhere close to this. But I feel like even just this visual gets across what, you know, the immense visibility and readability improvements that we're trying to make it more aesthetically pleasing and simple, while also making it less visually, I guess you could say confusing, like less visually dense. Yeah. Okay. So this is. Oh yeah. Sorry, I made a mistake. So this is, I think, what we're gonna be working with. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. It would be cool if you could like copy and paste. I'm sorry, not copy and paste, but rather, what's the word I'm thinking of? And when you go and press like Control F to like search for something, it would be cool if it opened a panel like this. Oh, I hit this. If it opened a panel like this. So it could be like, oh, you want to find something like that. And then maybe like a little X up here. Something like this. The X needs to be bigger. Yeah, the X needs to be bigger, actually. You need to give it room to breathe. Like that. Yeah, something like this general shape. Okay. Okay, alright. Deadline colors. So you right click on a checkbox and it brings up this smooth context menu where you can click on stuff and either it will like, I'm thinking when you click on something in the context menu, I'll see if I can animate this, or no, just do it like this. It will basically expand down like this. Yeah, so it'll expand down like this, and then you could say like, oh, date, or yeah, date. So basically, it's like you click on something, and then the panel doesn't really change. It only lists the things without the options, or it only lists the things, the options. It only lists the option that you're in. So like when you click on deadline, basically colors disappears, and then these options becomes available. And this would probably be a calendar of some description. How I'm gonna implement that, I don't really know. We'll have to come up with that probably on the next stream. Something like this, I don't know. Actually, let's come up with this. Let's come up with this real quick. So what if we had little circles that basically represent the dates, right? So you have something like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you would need 6, 7. Okay, so you need more room. Well, we don't have to do this right now, but this is the idea, I think. So the date, maybe you click on date and then the calendar expands, and so time drops down. Let's see. I like that idea, that basically you click on deadline and then colors disappears, or it drops down and then it expands downward. Like that. Okay. Whew. TJK says just the X without the box. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It's more readable. It's very clean. Yeah, that's good. I guess we could also put a white thing here. So that basically you just straight up like can click anywhere to... Whoops. Click anywhere on this entire side to basically close the panel. I like that. I like that idea. I'm not sure about this implementation though. Maybe this should be dark. Yeah. Yeah, I like that actually. I like that. Should we maybe darken this? Like, I'm learning so much about like the design behind this app. Okay, so line there. So that, oh yeah, that actually might make sense because then you could click anywhere above here to rename the stopwatch. Okay. So then in this example, maybe anything below or anything right of this line would basically be like editing the note text. I don't feel like it's necessary to do that all the time. I feel like that might be good to just... Yeah, I feel like this is pretty solid. All right. This is good. This is good. TJK says aesthetics. The Coolin says hello indeed. Yeah, this is rather cool. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're going to well, that's a good question. Actually, wait, add the line back into the note box. Oh, this preview was hidden. I'm thinking you can use that to store multiple notes. Do you mean like maybe press left or right to cycle between them? Oh. So the line between them separates between multiple nodes. Dude, that's actually sick. Yo, I never even thought of that. Dude, that's actually like a really cool idea. So hold on. Something like I guess it would be either up or down. Maybe up and down. And then you would have like 1. It'd be cool if there was some sort of like iconography rather than using the number 1, but we'll just use a 1 here. Oh. Collab win. Yeah, well, we're collabing right now. Malik Martin says, yo, my short adventure in Learning Go got me learning how to make a Chip 8 emulator in C. Why? How? The Coolin says, Aseprite versus Clip Studio. I prefer Clip Studio. I've never tried Clip Studio. I've only been using Aseprite and I prefer it, or I like it. Yeah, I like it. I like that idea. I like that idea of having multiple notes here. The only question is kind of what happens when you have too much text to fit. I guess it would just need to expand. The note would need to expand. Or should there be a scroll bar? If there was a scroll bar, it would have to be here on the right side. That is clean. I could do that. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, so we could do like a scroll bar here if you type in too much text. You just have something like that. And so you just drag it down to basically scroll down. And if you expand it by clicking and dragging on the bottom right corner, then the scroll bar obviously wouldn't be necessary. TDK says, also if you only have a handful of notes, like less than 5, then instead of the arrows, just multiple copies of the note icon as buttons on the left ribbon side. Oh, okay, so you could just have like one, like maybe 2 or 3 note icons, and you just click on them to cycle between them. I want it to be consistent. I'm not sure. Maxter says, I wonder if a plus could be used to add a new note to the same node. That's a good question. This is cool for condensing notes down, but now we have to add a plus and a minus, which could be used, I guess, in the context, like add note, remove note. I'm wondering if this is a good idea. Like, on the one hand, it's sick, don't get me wrong. On the other hand, like, it's sick. It is sick, but I'm thinking like, it's sick. So so you cycle between notes. Plus below the down arrow. Well, let's see. I'd argue its main benefit is that it reduces clutter, huge UI win. Or just do it the way you do boards, remove the note if it's empty. Easy is a bad word for it, but I'm sure you get what I'm saying. Oh, I don't know, Go. It seems so easy, my fear of making something great kicked in and I started using C. I don't know what you mean. Malik says, basically, he was using Go, or he was investigating Go, but he thought it seemed so easy that he decided to use C. If you're familiar with and you prefer C, that's fine. You know, I prefer Go just because it's simple and it's not very complicated. But C is very similar in terms of like, you know, there's not that much to the language. So, you know, they're kind of similar. It's like, you know, if you feel like, oh, well, I prefer C, that's fine. I don't think anyone's gonna hate on you for using C, and no one's gonna hate on you for using Go. Like either one is fine. I didn't consider the minus before. I don't know where it would go. Yeah, I mean the plus and the minus could definitely. They could go in the context menu, like, you know, add note, remove note could be in here. So you just add a note task, and then, you know, it's here, and there's no anything on the left side. Then you click on, you right click, choose add note, and then it basically goes 1 to 2, or, you know. So it would be like 1 out of. Maybe like 1 out of? Where would that be? 1 out of 3. Something like this. One out of 3. 1 out of 3. Maybe 1 out of like this. No, that doesn't really work. Yeah. How would we just? Well, Maybe if you're at the end of the note stack, something changes visually. Like maybe it's like something like that. You know, some kind of like little visual indicator that like this is the bottom of the note. I do feel like this could work because the upside of it is definitely a good upside, which is basically you can have your notes all in one place. You can have all of your notes in a stack. So if you have, you know, notes about, you know, the design of a character or something like that, or you have notes about, you know, something. Maxter the Turtle says, I wonder if the down arrow could become hollow. It's such an obvious good answer. I don't know why I didn't think of it. You're correct. We could just do something like that to let you know, yeah, you're on the bottom of the. That's better probably. You're on the bottom of the stack, so you can't press down. You can only press up. And also the diagonal line, Boondy says he thinks that could work. So yeah, maybe something like this, just to basically be like, yeah, you're at the bottom of it. I'm not sure where we would put that, but that's an idea. So this is a scroll area. Like this. We don't want to go all the way. Do we need that? Do we need that well in there, that bottom area? I mean that, you know, divot? Or should we just keep it clean? I feel like keeping it clean is very clean. I think clean is good. Don Duval says, stylized UI feedback, good idea. Yeah, I think this is definitely working. The Cool says, you're working on the dialogue design. Well, it's the design of everything. Everything is linked together in MasterPlan, and in programs in general. Like if it looks good, if you can design it so that it looks good on paper or, you know, in an art program, then when you implement it, it can look better. It can look good. Yeah, contrast really helps when zoomed out. You think with the divot like that? Yeah, you're kind of right. Yeah, I'm looking at the preview here. Yeah, that does. Especially because you can't really see where the top is. I mean, I guess... Well, yeah, I guess that's right. Huh, well then how would... Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. I think the divot is helpful because it makes it more obvious if you're at the top or bottom of the note. Yeah, contrast helps when zoomed out. I like every single version of the scroll thing. Yeah, the differences are pretty minor. I feel like either way is good. I like this clean design, but I do feel people's feedback that, you know, that would look better, I feel like that would just be more visually understandable. Yeah. Alright, we'll do it like that. I think this system definitely looks pretty good. Let's just clean this up a little bit. Yeah, we'll just leave it like that. Maybe a toggle? I don't know. A toggle seems a little unnecessary. Because I mean, like, that's something that I don't like about MasterPlan. I mean, well, it's fine, but there's so many options. Like, there's so many options, and it's not even like a really... Well, I'm gonna lose a lot of this stuff, actually. So I guess this is fine. Like, I probably would lose... I'm gonna lose outlines. I'm gonna lose probably task transparency, maybe task transparency. Numbering, I'm gonna keep. Glowing might go. Glowing might just straight up disappear. I don't know. URL buttons are gonna be there. Table columns are gonna be there. Icons being able to be toggled. Not every task is going to have an icon, like the progression task. So I don't know if I'll have that option. So maybe this won't be such a big deal. I don't know. Let's see. Audio stuff is going to be there. Alright. Why not both? Yeah, maybe I'll be able to have both. Maxter says, what if someone has a lot of notes? I wonder if it should be like a 9+ or something when 9 notes are exceeded. Well, this is probably the number that you're currently on. So like when you press down, you'll go to 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. So maybe the maximum would be 99, because that's the maximum that would fit horizontally here. I don't know. I have to think about that, because you could have just a really thick, wide font. What if the note icon held the number? Oh, that way more space on the left side. Oh, I see. I see. So you mean something like this. Can we like... That's a little tough to make it work, but yeah. I don't feel like we really need space that much. The icon is small enough where I feel like it's right at the right perfect size, where it's not too big, but it takes up enough space to like identify the task, identify the card. I guess from now on, from point 8 on, from MasterPlan point 8, all objects are going to be cards rather than tasks, because not every task is completable, right? Like some tasks, like a stopwatch or a countdown, they don't get completed. So calling them a task is weird. It's better to call them cards because you can place them and they just exist. So note cards, checkbox cards, progression cards, countdown cards, stopwatch cards. This is exciting. It looks and feels like it's the right decision, and it looks very clean. I can't wait for somebody to be like, what the heck happened? Like, they go from 0.7 to like 0.8. They're gonna be like, what? Like, what happened? This is, what the heck? Notes are important, I say. Yeah, I feel like this is good, because at the very least, ooh, what if you could like attach notes? Like, what if you could like, what if also, I think my camera position's kind of bad. Still, let me move myself back here. What if you had like the ability to combine notes simply by placing them on top of each other? How would you uncombine them? Would you drag from, like, click and drag from a certain position that would like tear the paper? Like, that's a cool idea. TJK says you could link notes to other cards. That way you can annotate other parts of the board. So let's say we had this system where a note... Let's say we had the system fundamentally. Maybe click the number. What if cards were kind of like blocks, like magnetic blocks? So what if they're magnetic cards, where they can be like, they snap to things and then you can click and drag to just move the parent, right? That's what a lot of people wanted to do, and you can't do in MasterPlan currently. We can fix that because we're remaking that. So like currently you make a task, right? You make another one, another task. If you move either one, they just move individually. There's no way to move them both unless you select both and click and drag together. So if we had this system where basically cards could snap together, then you can make a note that like explains another note or explains an image, and then you just click and drag, like a post-it note, and then you can click and drag the image and all the notes would follow. So maybe a pinned card has a little thing on it, like this. At the bottom left corner, maybe? Would have to be like, maybe like that. Oops. works. Right there. Something like that. So basically, well, no, I don't think that. So something like that. So it basically indicates like the note is pinned, or even a paperclip. You can use a paperclip icon to indicate bundled cards. Then remove the paperclip to get rid of the stacking. So you can stack tasks or cards. Why would you want to stack cards? So what if notes served as sheets too? So you could make a note like this. Oh my gosh, right? Oh my gosh, it's just like, it's so slow, dude. I don't know why it's so slow. This is so weird. It's not usually like this. Okay, so what if you have something simple like this, right? You delete this, nothing. There's no scrolling. It's just a blank note. Then you place a task in there like this. Also, it needs a shadow. But basically, with this system, also I'm 3 down. Okay. It would be something like this anyway. With this system, you would have a paperclip. Indicating that there's something here. Attaching tasks? I'm trying to see what's the use case for that. How would that work? The general idea is that I want to surpass. Oh, it's still running. Okay, I want to surpass boards, ideally with something you can place and interact with. Ideally in a visual way. I like this design. But I'm not sure about the efficacy of it. I do think that the paperclip idea does work really well though for like multi-page notes. I think that's cool. I think that's cool. That does work, and that is probably going to make it in. That's clean. It's very clean. We can keep it like, yeah, probably like up there. It's useful in an unintuitive way, namely it lets you bundle and set aside cards you're not dealing with currently without getting rid of cards. Blobby Dog says, how do you mean surpass boards? Just to have one board? Blobby, we need to go even further beyond. No, in order to surpass... Well, the problem with boards is basically it's completely computer construct. Like, it's not... all the stuff in MasterPlan is kind of like stuff that's supposed to be there in some way. Where you can, chain stuff together, you can, make lists, you can, like, move it around, and, these are kind of physical things. Whereas boards are just kind of like, they're just layers, and they just make stuff appear and disappear. That's okay, but I feel like for better ability to, like, sort your ideas, I want some sort of folder, I want some sort of system, some sort of object, like a card that you can place that allows you to edit the things on it. It's kind of like if you can imagine like iOS and Android, they have the ability to make apps like bundled together, right? You can like put them together in a single folder or in a single box. Like, could you imagine if it was like, oh yeah, you press this button and it just like flips to a different page? That's not that intuitive. And that's the way MasterPlan works. Currently, you just flip to a different page. I want something where it's like, oh yeah, you place the card in the box. I'll have to think about that. Because I definitely want it to be better. But I feel like it's not, what I'm coming up with isn't quite better. You gotta have a view like alt-tabbing. Irving says that doesn't sound very translatable to the metaphor used in MasterPlan. TJK says the aspect of the paperclip is intuitive to understand. I think the paperclip is useful for multi-page notes to let you know there's multiple pages here. And then when you see the bottom of the paperclip, you know you're at the bottom of the stack. When you see there's no more, the down arrow is brown or done, that's the bottom of the stack. So like, I want that for notes. I think that works fine. I don't think there's a problem there. But for like placing other things other than tasks together in a single box, in a single folder, in a single group, there should be something for that. I feel like you go into a folder and into an app. Yeah, there's a mode, because there is a mode of change that's sort of implied in phones. Well, I mean, like, in games or in computers, you go into a folder. The boards on the corner as a permanent fixture makes sense in a way. Maybe enrich that widget a bit instead of having something movable. But the thing about, like, something else that some people wanted was the ability to place like a background that you could place tasks onto and then move the background around. And so that combined with boards is basically what people are asking for. It felt weird to have like a method to contain or group tasks, and then a different method to segment tasks spatially, or rather one to segment tasks spatially, which is the background group system that people wanted, some users wanted, but then also this board system that basically allows you to segment tasks like temporally, or like I can't think of the word that I need to use here, but basically in a way where they're simply existent or not. It's weird. It's like, why not combine them, right? Because then you have this thing that you can move around, you can place, tasks into, and you can arrange it as you wish, and then you can hide them. It feels like they do basically the same thing. TJK says, what if the board system is just a series of tabs at the top of the window? I could get down with that. There's a tab at the top of the window. That's better. I feel like that's better than the current implementation. The tabs can be vertical so they would not be squished. A tab section for the remaining portion of the top window. So like up here. Tabs. Well, the thing about tabs is they kind of always have to be there, right? I mean, you could, I guess, make it so that you like move your mouse up to like expand it. But it feels like if people don't use it, well, I guess I could do that. Well, I'll have to think about it. I gotta think about it some more. But like a tab system, okay, we can use this. A tab system would be like this. There we go. So it'd be something like this, tab 1, and then you have like tab 2. Okay, that definitely could work I'm not sure about tabs. It just feels a little bit like a cop-out. I don't know. It feels like there's a way to do this without using tabs. I'm not satisfied with it. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. Like all this other stuff kind of works, but tabs, it just feels like it just feels like okay, like I guess. DJK says have an arrow button at the right end of the time pane in the top left so you can expand it. Yeah, I mean you could do that, I guess. Oh, that would make it so that you wouldn't have to look at it all the time. Something about tabs it doesn't quite sit with me. Put them on the bottom left. There is more room there, but I don't want to lose the screen real estate. It's supposed to be clean. MasterPlan is supposed to be like basically having a piece of paper. It should be that, just like a breath of fresh air. There should be as little on screen as possible. Most of it should be what you're looking at. That's the ideal. I'm not sure if I'll be able to hit that, but that is the ideal. Any idea about what about tabs? What idea about tabs doesn't sit with you? Maybe there's a hint on where to go from that. Well, it just feels kind of lazy. I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way. It just feels like there's a way to kind of keep everything, like the central design philosophy of this when I first started making MasterPlan was kind of like, what if Nintendo made a productivity app? Like, you know, how simple could it be? How fun to use could it be? How immediately just kind of like gratifying could it be? I want to kind of keep going in that direction. I feel like the visual design I'm working with is very solid, it's very clean, it's very simple, it's very eye-catching and gripping, and it kind of puts just the meat and potatoes on screen, and then the stuff that is also important is behind a menu, because it has to be there. I don't want to put too much on screen. I don't want to put stuff that has no business being on screen. And I feel like tabs is just kind of like, eh. It just feels like, eh. Like, it kind of feels like, for something like Ace Sprite, where it's like, oh yeah, you have multiple tabs because you have multiple things you're working on, that makes sense. But for a tool where you can basically zoom out and move around at will, tabs feels weird, because it's like, why would you need a tab when you can kind of go wherever you want? Like, you have infinite space, and yet you have tabs. It feels like folders or some sort of grouping mechanism, collapsible grouping mechanism, is better in terms of what it tries to get you to do. Like, some method of kind of cleaning up your space when you want it to be clean, or looking into a specific group of completable cards or concepts or images, you know, some method of like connecting those should be good, but at the same time you can not view that. You know, you don't have to view it at all times. The tab system is fine, but once you have something in a tab, you're always going to have the tab. Well, you can use the button to expand it, that's true. I have to think about it. I'm kind of like, on tabs. There's nothing wrong with them. Also, they should probably be perfectly flipped. There's nothing wrong with them, but it doesn't quite feel right. It feels like it's an elegant solution. Well, I can't say that. I have to think about it some more. Let's see. Irving says, could you imagine clicking on something that warps you far into the project space to a different space? Aaron says, not everyone wants to traverse potentially massive clusters of items. If you have to travel too far, the cleanliness just dies. Oh yeah, I'm not saying that you should have to... Well, that's what this folder system would do, is basically make it so that you have a folder for like, or, you know, a page. Essentially, what is a page, or what is a folder, what is a box for one group of tasks or images or whatever, another for another group of images, another group of tasks, etc., etc. So it's not like you have like just a huge swath of stuff and you're just scanning over it. This is what the grouping system would allow you to do, is basically compartmentalize them into objects you can place around. So you can be like, okay, here is my group for the city that I'm designing for my video game, and in that group is another group specifically for the design of the houses. Here's another group for the design of the foods that they eat in this particular part of this city or whatever. And so you can click into them to go into them, rather than having to use boards where you're dedicating an entire tab that's kind of like mentally detached. Maybe that's the problem I have with tabs, is that they're mentally detached from the context of the area of the board you're in. So no matter where you are, you always have access to a tab. But conversely, the tab has no bearing on where you are. So it's like, oh yeah, here's a tab that refers to the kind of food that people eat in this one town in this one part of the game world I'm working on. It's not linked at all to the people or the continent or anything like that. It's just a tab. So you can have a tab for this part of the world. You can have a tab for its housing architecture. You can have a tab for its people's food, and they're just tabs. They don't connect to each other at all. Whereas this grouping system, that's what makes MasterPlan kind of cool, is that it by giving you the freedom to place things wherever you want and allowing you to rearrange your plan the way you want, you can make inherent context because of where things are. So you can place images next to other images, and you can place descriptions next to those images, and you can describe something with this area of your plan. And then, you can do that for your entire game or your entire project, rather than having to be like, this tab is just related to this particular part of my game, and it doesn't really mesh with the rest of your board. That's kind of what it feels like. I guess you could make it so that if you have a button, for example, you could link to tabs. So you press a button in tab 1, it could go to tab 2, so that you have something in tab 1 that points you to tab 2, but you still have this long list of tabs for each individual area of your thing. And I don't know. And what if you move, the stuff in the tab 2 to another location? Now the button that you click at tab 1 doesn't take you to the same location. It's just the tab system isn't bad. I feel like there's a better alternative. It feels like it's not quite right. Zadek says maybe making nodes. Nodes are, I feel like they're kind of overrated. I'm gonna be honest. It's something, but I don't want to use nodes too much. I like the idea of nodes for like line connection, but not just for everything. I feel like inherent nodes where it's just like you place them next to each other, that would work fine. But it's kind of similar. Different levels of detail as you zoom in and out. Tasks that are close together are combined at a higher zoom level, and so on. That's an interesting design. It's very fuzzy. Not necessarily in terms of definition, but in terms of execution. I like that idea, but I'm not sure if I would be able to implement that. 2 ways to look at the project, says Irving Rivas. Exploded and contiguous. Exploded, you warp to different boards with a shortcut. Contiguous, you see the boards when zooming out and move between them. Okay, so you zoom out and you basically see squares. Well, just for simplicity, squares basically showing each task in each board, and you can click between them. Exploded, you warp to different boards with a shortcut. How would that work? I do like the idea of like some thing that basically shows you everything, and then another one that kind of shows you the structure more so. What if the folder itself was just a card? Yeah, and since Office folders naturally have tabs, no. Maybe you're right. That has a Notion feel to it. What do you call the nodes on the screen? Well, I'm calling them like tasks or cards. But yeah, these are nodes, but they don't connect. I mean, like you can connect them, but it's not like you need to connect them. Like with a normal node-based system, it's like the node connections, the connections between the nodes are visualized by lines like this. And if they lack those connections, then they won't be able to operate. They won't do what they need to do generally. And nodes, you know, that connection between nodes is what gets the flow of data or flow of information from one node to another through your system. In MasterPlan, you place nodes to what are essentially nodes. You just place them next to each other. They don't connect. You just, if they're touching, that basically makes the connections inherently. The advantage of that is that you don't have to like hold shift and, you know, or hold alt to like create connections. You just place the nodes where you want, and then it'll make links that are relevant for the node type that you for the node type or the object you have. In Notion, everything is a list. There are lists within lists forever. So yeah, that's kind of what I want, is not what Notion has specifically, but rather like if everything is a list in Notion, then that's cool. I kind of feel like everything is a card in this design. Everything is a card. So I want a card that basically allows me to place cards within it, much like I place cards on this board. So I want a board card, essentially, that I can collapse at will and that I can place near stuff. Why didn't I just design that? That's literally it. That's exactly what I want. I don't know why I was having trouble like mentally comprehending what I. That's exactly what I want. All right, so we'll just do that. Let's start with this. I wanted to actually get started on this stuff, but I got distracted actually designing, which is unfortunate because I'm using it all the time I have to design this stuff. But it's fortunate that, you know, it's definitely looking good. Like it's definitely looking way better than it started with, and offline I can work on this stuff and actually make it a reality, and it's looking sick. So in some, turn the board itself into a card. I feel like it seems like we were dancing around something obvious. Yeah, now that I think about it, it's not that complicated. At least I can give it a shot and see. But yeah, it seems like that's basically what I wanted, was just like a board card, or I guess what would a board card be called? I guess we'll just call it a board card. That's fine. So something like this. We'll just put it like dead center if we can. Give me like something like this. Is that? Yeah. Okay. And then just like. It would have to be something like this. Oops. Something like this. Something like this. Something like that. I guess it would need some sort of like something here to kind of give you the visual that it's a subset, but something like this where you can place a board or place items within this thing and then move it around. maybe you can double click and enter it. TJK says it can have a sub view where you can pan around with just inside the board itself. Does that make it a window card in that case? Yeah, I guess it would be, instead of a board, it could be a window card, a window title. Okay, okay. All right, that kind of works. I feel like that is basically what this was. Pardon me. What this was kind of going to be. I feel like this kind of does what I was trying to come up with. We can just like. There we go. Now make it yellow. Should it be yellow and maybe this should be blue? I guess it doesn't matter too much. This, yeah, feels a little better because you could, for example, we can have a button to collapse it. Just like a downward facing arrow or something like that. So you, basically when you click this, it rolls up. But when you have it expanded, you can place stuff with it. You can double click on it maybe to like make it big. And then the upside is basically you can have notes that say like, oh, the townspeople of, my fantasy city, whatever, are all a race of like lizard people and blah 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 blah. And then you can have this window or this. It would have to be something else. Window implies it's just a view into an existing part of your project. This is actually its own like sub project. But you can say like, oh, see here for like more on this people. And then you can double click on this window and it basically expands to fill the entire screen and you're inside of a board or inside of your project, inside of your project. It'll, I have to do some sort of like linking thing at the top where it will say like, oh, / window title or whatever. And then in here you can have all your people. You can have stuff about people, etc., etc., etc. Then you can go back, and then in your main section you still have everything else. I feel like that's a good what's the word? I feel like that's a good middle ground, because otherwise having tabs is like, it's okay, but it feels like it doesn't quite align with the design of MasterPlan. I feel like the design of MasterPlan, the strength of it is being able to really plan out your ideas and plan out your projects in a way that is, it gives context. The location and placement of your project gives context to the other elements. If you just have to adhere to a list, you have to adhere to a horizontal list, you have to have deadlines, those kinds of things where you have to do things weakens the design of your project plan, which basically makes it harder to read. Let's see. The only thing that I think, and I have to read chat, I'm sorry everybody. So in summary, turn the board itself into a card, yes. Zoom out and there's cards all the way down / up, yes. I think this design session was very necessary. I do feel like this was important. Orving Rivas says, the only thing that I think about is how to make the card live inside a new card, like create a new container. Maybe you can make it look like a cork board. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking just drag stuff over the window and it will maybe just literally just exist inside the view, inside the window. Not sure exactly how I'm going to do that. That's a good question. How am I going to do that? I mean, this is essentially rendering to texture. That's what this is. Current board should have a zoom into container. Yeah, something. Actually looks like Windows XP like this. I retract my statement. Keep it blue. Okay. I don't like this particular shade. I think it's too dark. That's a little better. It feels like that's better contrast. Add Clippy. I think nested boards actually. a very natural way to lay out multiple subgroups. Yeah, that's what it feels like. Like you know, can place things in. You can group things together. It feels like that's what was missing, is basically being able to group individual sets of objects together rather than having to use tabs, which are kind of a very not to be rude, but or just, you know, ignorant. It just feels a little ham-fisted, a little heavy. OVO Sior says, I haven't been here in a couple years. What's good, G? Hello. Thank you very much for stopping by the stream. We are in the middle of designing MasterPlan 0.8, which is essentially 2.0 apparently. But yeah, and Zadek says this reminds me of the Kingsway game. Yeah, the UI in Kingsway is very old school 90s computer game, or 90s computer operating system rather. Really well done. And this is kind of similar in that we're trying to figure out how to design the app in an effective way. Are you making Trello? It's not Trello. It's supposed to be better. Well, not. I'm trying to make it better than Trello. It's not going to be better than Trello in all respects. But I do think that I can make something better than Trello in some ways. So it's a project management software like Trello is, but it's different. It's yeah, it's different. And I feel like this is good. This is good. Window type. So this is good. I thank you all for watching. I'm shocked that we did. Well, I'm not shocked that we didn't do any development, but I am kind of surprised that it looks pretty good. Like this is all implementable, actionable systems. Zadek says this is made in GoTo. This is not. This is an app called Sprite. This is just an art program, and what we have here is just an art mockup. But by drawing this out, we basically came to the conclusion of how these things should look, what a checkbox task should look like, what a progression task should look like, what a context menu should look like, panels, you know, little UI elements. These are all important stuff to get kind of squared away before we actually start developing it, so that when we do start developing it, oh, I had something on my screen. When we do have start developing it, it will be easier, and it will be easier to implement and kind of understand. OVO Sior says, oh, okay, I respect your grind. You've been at it for a long time, wearing so many different hats. Yeah, thanks. Thank you. Yeah, I've been on my grind for a while, and I feel like this MasterPlan is definitely shaping up. It's definitely feeling pretty good, and people are using it. People are buying it. It's really encouraging for me as a developer. I really appreciate it. If anyone has any issues making games or apps, staying motivated, planning out their projects, please give MasterPlan a try. It's on Steam. It's on itch. The link is in the description, and I would greatly appreciate it. Zadek says, is MasterPlan made in Go? It is. It is. Zeus says, this all looks pretty good so far. I'm pretty stoked to see this all come together. I am too. I think that it could be just basically an improvement, just a large scale across the board improvement in terms of UI usability, in terms of clarity, visibility. In comparison, the original MasterPlan feels like it's more complicated just in the fundamental parts of, like, editing tasks. Having to go into this little panel isn't great. So if we could just get rid of that, that's a great start. To just be able to edit tasks, or cards in this case, directly on the board. UI looks dramatically better than 0.7 for sure. Yeah, I feel like going with a white background and a gray grid is better than going with the gray background and a white grid as well. But yeah, I think that the core fundamental just feel of the app is solid. I feel like this mock-up is solid. Still a lot to figure out. I am not 100% on the window on exactly how I'm going to implement it or what it will look like. I'm not sure if it will actually be a window you can look through or what. I'm not sure. Maybe the window will just have a preview of the tasks within it, and then you double click to open it and place stuff in there. I don't know. I have to figure out exactly how this all will work. Lucretius, hello, welcome to the stream. I'm just about to end. Unfortunately, I gotta get going. But yeah, this stream, how much longer? Yeah, I'm just about to leave. Sorry about that. I've been on for a couple hours. We've been working on basically mocking up MasterPlan again from scratch. This is what I get for walking my dog and letting him have a good time. And yeah, no, it's fine. It's all good. Yeah, don't worry about it. You can always watch the stream. It always is up, at least usually. TJK says, "Will we still have images, audio notes, and whiteboards?" Yep, all that will still be in the game. All that will still be in MasterPlan. I just didn't design them because they should be much the same. Images are just going to be probably just square, panels that are just going to be placed on your board like a normal image in MasterPlan currently. Audio nodes. Yeah, it'll be pretty much just like a stopwatch. Like it'll have it won't be a title, it'll just be the name of the file and then the playtime, like the playhead, play, pause, reverse. There should also be a thing here. Let's draw it. Let me draw it because I don't want to forget. So this will be like, I don't know, Kubi. What's one of Kubi's songs? Kubi, for those who aren't aware, is a fantastic chiptune artist. Makes absolute insane bangers. Taiga was like on repeat for the longest time. Is it Prey? I think it might be Prey, or it's either Cold Snap or Prey that I was just like, I was loving. I couldn't get enough of them. Prey. Okay, so this would be basically the name of the artist. I guess I could do like one of those like fancy pants, like fading. Right? Like like modern, like what's the name? Modern like Spotify and stuff like that. They have like a bar, a fixed length for like play the song information, and then they just like scroll it back and forth. So maybe I'll just do that. Maybe I'll implement that. So if you have a really long file name, it will like fade out. So like if it's prey.wave, it would be something like, alright, let's do this. Okay, so I'm not sure if I'll even be able to like R at the beginning? No. Okay. So something like this, and then like we would fade this out. Something like that. Oviosior says, Solar, if you need help, I'm more than willing. I'm a junior at a university getting my bachelor's in computer science right now. My concentration is in systems. Oh, interesting. Thank you for the offer. Really appreciate it. So far I have been pretty good with managing to kind of stay on track. My motivation fell pretty heavily like a week and a half ago, where I was just like, I just couldn't work up the energy, but I feel like I'm back on track, so I should be okay. But thank you very much for the offer. Someone said, Zeus says, music note for the icon. Yeah, that makes sense. Something like that. Yeah, that's pretty good. Maybe it's a little too fat, a little too tall, rather. It doesn't really matter because I'm probably these icons probably won't end up being used because we're gonna make the task size larger. It's gonna be 32 by 32, not 16 by 16. So this is closer to being correct. I'm not sure. Well, actually, maybe these icons will be used then. Yeah. Lucretia says, something that helped me is to work on 2 projects at once. You can move from one to the other. Yeah, that does help sometimes, but other times there's not a lot you can do because your motivation dies really hard. It depends. Alright, so then... Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. So this would be like your playhead, right? And then you have like a play, you gotta pause. Play becomes pause when you play it or pause. This would not need to be that. Mini... Got this. If we could get also, I guess we would need a repeat, maybe? And then also a playhead down here. Let's see, do we want to do it like this? Or do we want to do it like this? Let's keep it the same. Let's keep it the similar, keep it consistent. Alright, so that's pretty accurate. Yeah, okay. Alright. So something like that should generally work. The first is way more readable. Yeah, it's still, yeah, it's readability is king. Be great. Might be good to do this. Oops. Something like this. Something like this. It doesn't have to be this exactly, but I'm just saying like something where it's kind of pushing the icon out, but that helps definitely with visibility. I'm not sure if it's a big enough deal to do. I feel like, yeah, I'll keep thinking about that, but I feel like this is a pretty good start. I'm still not sure about this. This is a step in the right direction, but I'm not sure about the actual design of the window. Maybe the window just shows like all of the tasks within it. I gotta think about it some more. Because if done correctly, it works well, but I'm not sure if I can make it be done correctly. We'll see. We'll see. But I definitely feel like this is better than tabs. But if I can't get it to work, then I'll just have to go with tabs. In any case, it's been fun. I really appreciated everybody stopping by on stream, giving me their input. It's greatly improved and helped out the app, I feel like. And when I actually implemented this, it's going to be sick. So thank you very much. I've been SolarLoon. This has been a MasterPlan art design stream, surprisingly. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side next time, hopefully with an actual like finished prototype and working, you know, rough sketch of how this is all going to work. All right, I'll catch you guys later, and thanks for watching.